Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Freda, North Haven's first Selectman, and I'd like to spend some time with you this evening. Over the course of the past several weeks, all of us in local government, all of the states across the United States, and the federal government, we have experienced some unprecedented times. We here in North Haven, we've been through a lot together over the past 11 years. We have faced storms, tornadoes, blizzards, power outages, and each one of those represented a tremendous challenge. However, this is different. Those were visible threats to our community. Today, what we're experiencing and what we've experienced during the past couple of weeks is what I've referred to as the invisible threat. And sometimes the invisible threats are very difficult to manage. I wanted to spend this evening about a half hour with our fine residents here in North Haven to share with you what we're doing in town to combat and battle this invisible threat that we're all faced with. So over the course of the next 30 minutes, I've put together a slide presentation. I'd like to take you through it in detail, and should anyone have any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer any questions here at North Haven's Town Hall tomorrow. So I'm going to direct your attention to the television screens here in Town Hall. Our COVID-19 response. First, I wanted to provide all of our residents an update as to where we are now across the state of Connecticut. The state of Connecticut now has a total of 415 positive cases, with 4,500 tests that have been conducted among the state and private labs to date. There has been approximately 51 plus people who are now hospitalized. And sadly, ladies and gentlemen, there are 10 fatalities across the state. As I speak to you this evening, we've been working very closely with our health department, the Quinnipiac Valley Health District. And as we speak tonight, there have been no confirmed cases in North Haven. And this is something that we're watching very, very closely. There has been a lot of confusion in terms of what the symptoms are. So I'd like to spend a few moments here in outlining some normal symptoms for ailments that go on in our daily lives every day, and then delineate those from the symptoms that we're being told those with the coronavirus have experienced. So let's take a look at 4 categories, ladies and gentlemen: allergies, cold, strep, and flu. This slide outlines some of the normal symptoms of these 4 categories. So for allergies, some of those symptoms are a runny nose, sneezing, red and swollen eyes, itchy nose, a tickle in the throat, but rarely a fever. Those are symptoms that are analogous to those that may have allergies. When we look at the common cold, the symptoms associated with that are a runny nose, sneezing, a sore throat, aches and pains, a mild dry cough, and rarely but sometimes a fever. If we look at strep, common symptoms include a sore throat, very painful swallowing, and a fever. And then the flu. A fever is very common. A dry cough. There's a quick onset of the development of a flu. Headaches, sore throats, fatigue, sometimes a runny nose, and sometimes intestinal diarrhea. The symptoms that have been identified for COVID-19 start with a shortness of breath and a persistent fever that's above 100 degrees. A dry cough is associated with this, and there's a gradual onset, 2 to 14 days after the beginning symptoms. Sometimes there's a headache, sometimes aches and pains, mild sneezing, sometimes fatigue, but it's not predominant. It's not a predominant fatigue like the flu. Most recently, we've been told by the Center of Disease, a United States federal organization that we have been following very closely, the Controlled Disease Center, there's sometimes a loss of smell and taste. Intestinal diarrhea has been rare. Here in North Haven now we have a company that we're so grateful that's reached out for us. So as far as the testing of corona is concerned, as you see the first few points, it's been recommended to contact your healthcare provider and call ahead. There's a Yale New Haven healthcare hotline, 833-275-9644. There's a Hartford healthcare hotline that's available to our residents. Area code 860-972 and 8100. And here we see, ladies and gentlemen, the company that reached out for us, Docs Medical Group. They're offering coronavirus testing. They're located at 163 Universal Drive. The phone number is 860-272-8942, and that's the website there. Feel free, you can call us tomorrow here at Town Hall if you have any questions on that, and we can direct you to individuals there who have reached out for us. That is a very important new development, and we're grateful for this medical group who's reached out for us at 163 Universal Drive. I'd like to kind of shift the focus right now to let each of you know that our town government is operational, providing core and essential services. Let's take a look at what we've done as a recap over the course of the past 2 weeks. As you know, all of our schools, our library, our senior center, our pool, our community services, and our daycare are closed until further notice. Our town hall and our annex buildings are closed to the public, but our town employees are working, and we're encouraging the use of online services for building permit fees and those related fees, and we're waiving the fees for those permits. So in other words, all those online services have always been associated with a fee, a charge to use the online service. We're waiving those during this point in time. For that critical business that requires a face-to-face meeting, we are taking appointments for those critical services. I must say to you, though, that we have not had a lot of calls for individual appointments. Most of what's happening here at Town Hall has been working with our residents, handling the phone calls, responding to emails, helping people in need and distress, and offering them our support here at North Haven Town Hall. All town programs, all town events have been suspended indefinitely. All of the programs that we had throughout the coming Easter season, during the month of May, and indefinitely, all those programs have been suspended. We have, in all of our town buildings, for the safety of our employees, we've implemented an electrostatic sprayer system through the cleaning companies that we have. All of our buildings are being disinfected nightly and on a regular basis. And they're being disinfected with superior disinfectants and sanitizers throughout all the town offices. We've gotten to the point, ladies and gentlemen, because our employees are still working, that even the desks are being wiped clean every night. As far as the core and essential services of this government, our fire department is fully operational, as is our police department. Our first responders, as we know, are critically important to the service model that we present to our town residents. It's been great to be working with our chiefs, our department heads, and the management here to continue these core services so that there's no disruption of those services to our residents. Sanitation, municipal waste pickup, still on its regular schedule, as is the recycling pickup by our sanitation workers, and the transfer station is open, but there's limited contact with the employees there. But the transfer station and the recycling center are still open here in town. We had to make a difficult decision today. We had previously announced that bulk pickup would happen the last 2 weeks of April, but because of the fact that the threat is rising right now, we viewed this as an overload situation for our public works people who would take the bulk pickup and work the bulk pickup. It's a very strenuous activity. So for the safety of our town employees who are still picking up trash, picking up sanitation, we've decided to postpone that service. It will still take place, and it'll be the last 2 weeks of June, June 15th and the week of June 26th. And as far as that service is concerned, everything will remain in place. Place the items at the curb by 5 a.m. on your designated trash collection day. And if you have any questions about what's acceptable or unacceptable, you can contact our field operations office or look at our town website. Our community services. That department, ladies and gentlemen, has critical services that are offered to our residents. Our food bank, although closed to the public, for those in need, it will be handled on an appointment basis. The food bags are being prepared by the staff, and the resident is given an appointment to pick up the food bags. Now, I wanted to let everyone know that our food bank is being depleted. So what we are doing with the food bank is that we're asking for donations, but we are working on a plan that our Community Emergency Response Team, our CERT team, will pick up those donated items on the doorsteps of our residents' homes. More about that to come. Now, our critical counseling services through BH Care and our community service counselors are still providing those services to our clinical patients who are in need of those services. That's being done over the telephone, and our patients who are working with our counselors appreciate the fact that we're keeping those services still going here in town. All of our board and commission meetings right now have been canceled or postponed indefinitely. This is being done to manage the public health crisis, for the safety of our board and commission members, and for the safety of everyone involved. Until further notice, they have been canceled or postponed. We will have an announcement on that as we move forward with our budget, and we've pushed everything back 30 days. There'll be an announcement on that coming very soon. Now, if necessary, arrangements will be made to do a teleconference or a closed meeting with board members. And that is probably what we're going to do as we approach our annual budget process. I'll be offering a mill rate and presenting a mill rate decrease this year to our residents. So more to come on that within the next couple of weeks on how that will be handled. Whatever we do electronically or through a teleconference, the public will have the ability to listen to each meeting and proceed in real time by telephone, video, or other technology. We have a couple of problems that we've experienced over the weekend here in town, and I was brought into it via social media. There are many residents who were upset seeing these general assemblies and gatherings on our sports fields. So we've had to make a very difficult decision on this. And I'd like to share with you what the problems were and what we've done today. We're implementing it effective tomorrow. So as far as the ball fields and playgrounds, I want to be clear that what we're trying to accomplish here, ladies and gentlemen, is to still allow our residents to recreate, but to use the common sense, to not have the large gatherings, to maintain the social distancing of the 6 feet. That's very important. We do not want to shut everything down here in town, but I need your help, ladies and gentlemen. I need your help to help manage this so we can keep some of the areas open. We will have to shut down our ball fields. And here's the plan. No organized sports or practices on any of the ball fields. And in conjunction with this, our athletic director, Steve Blumenthal, has already indicated this and informed all of our coaches, our North Haven High School coaches and coaches of the sports, that we cannot have general assemblies and practices on these ball fields. We're urging children to refrain from using the playscapes. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to be shutting down the playscapes, but we're going to be urging the children through the parents to not use the swings, not put their hands on some of the things that can transmit, God forbid, this virus. Our parks, our track, our trails are being kept open. Please help us maintain the social distance regarding that. That's very important. Over the weekend, there was a group of people using our track, but they were spaced out properly. They were out recreating, they were walking, they were running, but there was much more than the 6 feet social distancing involved. We encourage that, ladies and gentlemen, but we need your help to help manage that. I mentioned that our athletic director sent out a notice today that all the fields and athletic facilities are closed until further notice. All North Haven Public School coaches, as I mentioned, are not permitted to hold practices or any type of team gatherings until further notice. Let's take a look at the playscapes and basketball courts. We will be sometime later this week, over the weekend, or no later than Monday. We've ordered some signs, and the signs will be placed at our parks, our basketball courts, and the sign will read as follows. Due to COVID-19, please stay off the playground equipment and refrain from playing basketball in groups. What we're doing here is still allowing the people to walk through the playgrounds, to be able to at least recreate and get out in the fresh air, but not congregate by using the equipment. Not having these basketball games where there's a great assembly there of games being played. These are the things that we know and have been told can be very onerous in terms of the transmission of this virus. Now, there's been a lot of questions this past weekend, as an example, ladies and gentlemen. I fielded calls from the business community because there was an ambiguity in terms of what are the essential businesses that can remain open. I was in contact with our commissioner of the DECD, David Lehman, whom we work very closely here at Town Hall. We've been in contact with the governor's office, for working very closely with Governor Lamont and his staff through this office and also through my presidency at the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities. So as it relates to essential business, what businesses are open and what is essential. Here is a website that anyone could go on, www.ct.gov/DECD. This will also be on the town's website, and also there'll be a list of the businesses that will be on North Haven TV, those that are essential. What you can do, ladies and gentlemen, is click on this website. When you click on this website, you will see a lengthy definition and a lengthy delineation of what businesses are essential. And I think it's very important that all of our citizens know what type of businesses are essential. One of the vagaries, as an example, one of the ambiguities this past weekend was where I had a dry cleaners reach out for me who had planned to close. So I called the state over the weekend, and a dry cleaners is considered essential. So that is an example of more clarification. And I will say that the DECD here did a great job in terms of moving quickly once we identified to them, not only us here, but all of my fellow chief elected officials, that there were ambiguities out there. And they did a nice job in clearly defining what's essential. Feel free to go on that website, click on that website, and you'll see those essential businesses and categories. So as we come to a close here this evening, I wanted to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, once again, that we've been through a lot together over the past 11 years. And during those 11 years, we faced every challenge with a great deal of confidence, courage, and conviction in terms of helping and really representing and supporting our citizens here in North Haven. And I want each and every one of you to know that even though that as time goes on over the next couple of weeks, we anticipate all of the leading experts tell us that it's going to get worse before it gets better. We are prepared here at North Haven Town Hall. We will face this challenge. We will face this challenge with the invisible enemy, a daunting challenge. But I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, that we will face this challenge with the same courage, confidence, and conviction to support you, to help you through any crisis you may have. I love each and every one of the citizens of North Haven. I will do anything I can for our citizens. And you have my total commitment that that love I have for you, that support that I have for you, will continue to manifest itself during this health crisis and this pandemic that we're experiencing. There will be future updates that I'll be giving everyone, and I'd like to thank you for your time this evening. We here at Town Hall will support you and help you. Thank you very much for your time.